It's really interesting to note that in this 81-day journey, 82-day journey, whatever day we're on, I have often found myself hit brick walls and encounter somewhat of a mental block when I approach my audios with expectation rather than freedom, rather than being completely free of any idea of what I want to create, completely free of any expectations as to the quality of what I want to create or divulge, or the topic, so on and so forth. And rather than being free the majority of the time, I've allowed the expectation from myself, the pressure on myself, to affect it and affect what it is that I'm currently experiencing, currently thinking, currently feeling, currently learning, so on and so forth. And this week has epitomized it, and I'm so grateful for this week and the lesson that it's taught me. Because for a week now, I've had this internal conflict with regards to what it is that I want to talk about. Because for whatever reason on this channel, I've somewhat strayed away or hidden away from talking about how I feel about my exercise and my current routine and what I'm currently experiencing, what I'm currently feeling, so on and so forth. I almost tied myself to this idea that I just wanted to create this channel where I train and every day I come on and drop some sort of gem for whoever it is that's listening to take and hopefully either be inspired or learn something from. But that's unrealistic, and that's not my experience. I don't experience on a daily basis the energy that is required in order to divulge information like that. And as of right now, one of my big focuses is movement. I've been consuming this audiobook, just finished it yesterday, Move Your DNA, and it's had a profound effect on my behavior and a profound effect on the way in which I attack my days, approach my days, and think about my body and think about movement. It's dramatically changed in such a short space of time, which isn't rare for me when I encounter information that speaks to me, that hits me on the level of the soul, if you please. However, I'd be a liar if I ever expect these things to have such an effect on me. They always catch me by surprise, and this one has caught me by surprise big time, because in the past, whenever I've consumed anything fitness or health related, it's never really hit me, it's never really caught me, it's definitely never changed my behavior. Now that I think about it, not a single book that I've read on any of this topic, not that I've read many, has changed my behavior. But this one spoke to me. This one feels like it's spoken to me in a way I've been craving to be spoken to since I was a child. For as long as I can remember, in my, not quite a child, but early teens, I always had this burning desire to just have my body completely unlocked, if that's even a thing. The idea that I could be super strong and super mobile and super fit from an endurance perspective. I always believed that that was possible. I always believed that I was capable of that. However, my habits didn't support that goal at all. And this book has just blown my mind. It's blown my mind. And it's all I've been thinking about recently. And one of the reasons as to why I ended up really enjoying the deload week. Today was the first day I stopped deloading. I had this idea that maybe I wanted to extend it for another week because of the experience I was having, so on and so forth. But I set myself the goal of 1 week, so I took my win at the end of the week. Today I deadlifted for the first time in maybe just a little over a week. I don't think I deadlifted the day before I started deloading. And it was nice. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I felt free from the goals that I had set myself, which I was. However, I'm looking forward to the next day I get in the gym and focus on movement. And I use the word movement very specifically and very purposefully, because I feel like everything that I've been somewhat trying to communicate on this channel in the past with regards to the importance of exercising every day is perfectly explained and perfectly articulated in the book. And it's extremely simple. Move more. Move every day. We as human beings have evolved over the years, well, in recent years, to be extremely sedentary and immobile, especially in comparison to our ancestors. You don't have to go back thousands and thousands of years to find the human beings that were walking on average 1,000 miles a year. The majority of household chores that had to be executed were done in a squat or in some sort of fucking movement pattern. We couldn't just pick up our phone, flex our fingers, and fucking have food delivered to our door. We couldn't do that. We had to go out, we had to walk somewhere in order to maybe get some fresh water, in order to boil something that we had hunted yesterday, or some fruit and veg. I don't fucking know, innit? I don't know what they were doing however many years ago, but it's plain to see that with modern day technology and all the transportation devices we have and access to outsourcing outsourcing our movement, essentially, whereas we used to have to walk somewhere to attain food, now we can get all our groceries delivered. Even that, you looked at 10 years ago when I was a kid, I remember every Friday or Friday evening when I would go to stay at my dad's for the weekend, I remember very clearly that was the evening where we went with my grandmother and we went to Tesco, we went shopping. You don't have to do that anymore. Like, Tesco will deliver your shit to your door, bro. Sainsbury's will do the same thing. They all do it. All our movement is outsourced. We're not required to move anymore. So we literally find ourselves spending days where we sit around doing fuck all, and I don't care who you are or what your goal is. That's just not healthy. That's not healthy. I don't give a fuck who you are, what your goal is, whether you're trying to be this, that, or the third. Not moving for an entire day is not healthy. And now we live in a society where, well, in today, a lot of us work from home. A lot of people work from home. They don't even have to leave the comfort of their home. And as human beings, we are naturally inclined to seek out comfort. So when you build brick houses with squishy sofas and squishy beds, we're going to do everything in our power to seek out the experience and pleasure of using those things that feel uber secure. But when we were forced to live in an environment where safety and comfort wasn't guaranteed and you had to be good at moving in order to survive, then we were a far superior species physically. She puts it beautifully in the book. I'm going to butcher it here, but she has a quote where she goes, something along the lines of, the greatest paradox is that we have technologically advanced to tax us less physically, yet our technological advancements have taxed us physically. All of the technological advancements of today that make our life so much easier have fucked us up as human beings and completely stifled our potential. Not only reducing the ceiling of our potential, but reducing the likelihood of us ever achieving it, for one, and two, I don't even know where I was going with that. It's fucked us up, man. It's completely fucked us up. And it almost makes me want to change the name of this channel, because train every day is misleading. I've said this before in a video. It's extremely misleading. Training every day isn't necessarily my goal. Training every day isn't necessarily the purpose of this channel. Moving every day is, because you have to move every day. You have to. I have a video called "You Have to Exercise Every Day," something along those lines. But the reality is, and the point I was trying to make, if you actually listen to that video rather than just hearing like quote unquote clickbaity moments that didn't really sit right with you and then rejecting the idea, you have to move every day. I don't care who you are, I don't care how old you are, you have to move every day. Your body requires it. And the reality is, we leave ourselves extremely susceptible to a lot of, what's the term? I don't really want to say illnesses, because that feels a little bit too vague or a little bit too unscientific. But the harsh reality is, right, the human body is extremely complex, but can be, I believe, can be somewhat simplified. We're a biomachine, right, that has a system, of course, or multiple systems that all require one main thing, and that's blood flow, right? Blood flow can be restricted to certain areas of the body for various reasons. It can be, you can be tight. You're super tight in an area, you don't get blood flow there. You spend too much time sitting on your glutes. What do? You restrict blood flow to that area, therefore your glutes don't get much blood flow. You can hit something even, and that's why we bruise. Anyway, I'm not a science guy. I don't know fuck all about science. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. If blood flow is the most important thing to the human body, for your brain function, for your heart, illnesses, like literally everything, blood flow is everything, right? Does it not then make sense to be as mobile as you can be and do as much little stuff all day, every day, to stimulate more and more blood flow? Doesn't make sense for you to sit on your ass all day, or just because you work in an office. No, like, get up every half an hour to just get up. You don't have to do anything. Get up. I don't know, maybe just engage your glutes, move your shoulders around, and then sit back down. Or you're in an office, just fucking pace up and down for a minute, just to break up the monotony of your day and just to stimulate blood flow. Your brain will appreciate it. Your organs will appreciate it. Your muscular system will appreciate it. Even your bones will appreciate it. Like, I remember reading something about how you find remains of, like, I can't remember. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this, but I'm pretty sure that humans of yesteryear had much bigger and much denser bones than we do today. And there's one reason for that. Because from birth, they demanded more of their bones. They were using their body more and more each day, which required higher levels of bone density and muscle mass. So, of course, they're going to be far bigger than us and far superior to us. I remember seeing something on Squat University the other day about a 75-year-old man a 75-year-old man who started weightlifting at 55 years old. He had his bone density measured, and I don't understand the measuring score. All I know that the average for a 75-year-old was 2.7, and he measured it in at like 5.7 or something ridiculous like that. The man didn't start lifting until 55, and his body still had the ability to adapt and thrive. Like, he thrived at 55. He thrived. That's why I can't stand the idea that it's too late. It's never too late. I see myself as a baby. I'm so blessed, in my opinion, to be instilled with this state of mind at 25 years old. I've got 30 years on that motherfucker. If he's able to achieve that level of bone density at 75 years old, just imagine what I'll be able to achieve. I'll be doing splits with double the amount of bone density and 3 times the strength as that guy. And that's not to shit on the guy at all. That's just to empower myself in many ways, which we cannot be ashamed to do. Like, I've heard enough times people moan about being 30, 40, fuck off, bro. Like, you got time, man. Just work and move Move as much as you can. Because in my short experience of really experiencing this movement philosophy and changing the way that I live, and I don't say that lightly. I don't say that lightly at all. I haven't sat on a sofa at this house since my missus was in Japan. When was that? I can't remember when that was, but it was months ago. Got rid of the sofa. Boom, sofa gone. That was my introduction to floor sitting and changing. This was before I even read the book, before I even found the book, because stumbling upon that book was just such a blessing. Anyway, floor sitting, okay, over time, it's really fucking uncomfortable. Don't get twisted. Sitting on the floor ain't easy. It's not supposed to be easy. And the whole reason why we sit on the floor is because you're forced to constantly move and therefore constantly change the loads that your body is experiencing, and therefore be creating blood flow and forcing your body to adapt to situations that are far more beneficial for him and alleviate more and more of its sticky points. It's not easy. Sitting on the floor. Yeah, then I proceeded to get rid of my desk chair. So rather than just sitting on the floor when I was chilling, watching something maybe, or just had more room, so you're just more inclined to stretch and whatnot. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, I'm full sending this shit. I don't want to be sitting on anything ever. Or at the very least, I want to sit far less on a chair than I sit on the floor. Okay, that's been, I want to say, a month, 2 months now that I've been doing that. And fucking hell, I'm getting to a point where all these quote unquote sticky spots that I was having in my body, specifically my left hip, has been a pain in my ass for a long time because of how imbalanced my body is due to excess amounts of cage football when I was a kid. That is slowly going. I feel that slowly going. Add to that the amount of hanging that I've been doing at the gym and just more and more movement focused stuff that I do off camera, because I spend a fuckload of time in the gym. I'm not even gonna lie. You guys see like 5%, if that, because I just go there and I move and I exist. If nothing else, it's an environment that encourages movement. So I don't give a shit if I've spent half an hour lifting some heavy ass weight and then just chilled around for an hour, just fucking standing, walking, stretching, hanging, so on and so forth. It's movement. Just move. Add to the fact that I'm now sleeping without a pillow. This is something I toyed with months and months ago. Like, we're going 6 months to 12 months ago. And I found difficult. I found very, very difficult. I then essentially didn't keep it up, sleeping without a pillow. This was after changing my mattresses and getting super, super fucking firm mattresses. So I then decided, okay, cool, well, I ain't sleeping without a pillow just yet, so let me practice sleeping on my back. And that was fucking tough, but over time got used to it and it got better and better. And I've now finally at the point where I think it was about, I'll be honest, about a week ago, maybe 10 days ago, I said, you know what, it was a part in the book where she was basically talking about how valuable it is to sleep without a pillow, or better yet, sleep on the floor, and how most people would fucking ache the next morning if they did that. So as soon as she said that, obviously I was looking for some self-validation. So that night I slept without a pillow, and it was one of the best sleeps I'd had in a long time. And I woke up feeling fresh, which told me, okay, bro, you're doing something right. Like, the habits that you are currently picking up are leading you to, you're stepping in the right direction. You're walking the right path, kind of thing. And it's been fucking beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. It's been fucking beautiful. It's been amazing. I really fucking enjoyed it. Like, and I'm balls deep in it right now. And I'm fucking loving it. And for whatever reason, going back to the beginning of this video, because this, as it stands, is going to be my longest video, I've been really hesitant to talk about it. God knows why. It's all come out at once just here. So I apologize for that. If you fucking firm this whole thing and listen to me go, then you are a fucking gangster. And I love you more than you can imagine. I'm going to cut it here. And I shall see you tomorrow.